What's up, Vince? Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Wow, I made it. Thank you for dressing it up for me, dude. I appreciate it.
The greatest sign ever created in podcasting. One day I'm going to frame this. Like, if this podcast ever gets really big and we start, like, you know, actually make it like a legit thing, we're going to like frame this and be like...
Legit thing, bro. Yeah. This is as legit as it gets.
Bro, we got one camera. We got updated mics, bro.
I see Adrian back there.
Adrian's working hard, in the background.
Dude. You got like a full-on staff, dude. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
I can't believe I made it, finally.
Finally, I'm proud of you. You know, did we ever do a podcast one-on-one?
No, I did it in a team setting, but
I thought we never did one-on-one.
No, I finally, you know, left the nest, so to speak.
Yeah,
in
I'm proud of you.
In my title
I'm
world.
proud of you.
So,
you know, I thought, you know, you're getting a little bit of a better golfer, so I was like, all right, I'll allow him to be on now. And now that you're on my level in the golf game,
I'm not on your level.
No,
bro.
you're
Stop.
Not. Yeah,
Stop.
Sorry, that's just a lie. I'm already starting this podcast with lies. Sorry.
Yeah, here we go. Okay,
what's up, man?
cool.
Why don't you tell everyone who you are, dude?
Yeah, so Vince Rodriguez, Tycor Title Company. I've been in the game for I can't believe it's now 4 years. It's been the
already been that year?
Yeah, it's been the fastest 4 years of my life. I got into this 3 weeks before COVID hit, and
really?
Yeah, I left.
That kind of worked out for you.
It did, yeah.
Because you were selling...
I was selling French fries, green beans, styrofoam plates, everything in between. I worked for a huge company called Cisco, and shout out to Cisco, man. Cisco is amazing. Still some lifelong friends from that company, and it really kind of sharpened my teeth in sales.
Well, you've only been doing it 4 years now, and you've actually, you know, kind of only known it since COVID, so you don't know pre-COVID. But for you, like, what was the big eye-opener, like, when you got in a title that you weren't expecting?
That I wasn't expecting? Probably that real estate agents... You know, I thought it was going to be an outside sales gig where, you know, you approach real estate agents and, you know, provide a value, and here we go. But what I didn't realize is that it's not just title that are blowing up real estate agents. It's, you know, every escrow company in the world, every home warranty, termite.
What did I say about hitting the
table?
table?
I'm hitting the table. God, there was one rule.
There was one rule before it started. Don't hit the table.
One rule. Like, my bad, Adrian. I'm sorry, dude.
He's over here just playing the drums over here.
Yeah, sorry. I talk with my hands a lot. I think I'm Italian, but I'm not. But all right, I'm gonna be good. I promise. Yeah, so. Yeah, you guys get blown up by everybody in the industry, and, you know, sticking out as a title rep, especially a new title rep without a name known in the business, it was hard as hell, man. It was hard as hell. And yeah, I started during COVID.
Which was hard because everyone was so crazy, and no one really needed anything.
Well, first off, like, no one really cares about title to begin with. It's kind of one of those things that you set it and forget it, and you pray you never need a good title rep. You know, it's almost like auto insurance, right? Like, I've been with AAA forever, and it just kind of auto renews. And, you know, when you get in an accident or somebody hits you, you pray to God that you have good insurance,
or they have good insurance,
and you find out quickly if you do or not.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah,
and it's too late at that point. You're just like, I should have paid the premium.
Yeah. Yesterday, man, my phone wasn't charging, and I was like, oh, no trip, I got Apple Care. I didn't put Apple Care on this phone. I put it on my last phone, and I'm there at the Apple store, like, oh my God, please, can like you
be under warranty,
like, please. And thank God it was just some pocket lint that they were able to pull out, and I avoided that nightmare. But,
which is crazy, like that stopped your phone from charging. But like, I know people have like dunked it in water and stuff, and like it's no big deal.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I mean, title's a trip. Like, people don't. A lot of agents, especially the successful ones, like, they've been with their title rep for 20, 30 years, and it's set it and forget it, dude. Which I get, and I appreciate the loyalty. I hope that, you know, all my clients, if you're listening, I hope you're loyal too, because I work hard for you guys. But it's one of those things where you don't, people aren't shopping for title reps, because very, very rarely does stuff happen where you're like, damn, man, my title guy, my title gal dropped the ball on this. Vince has been blowing me up. I'm going to give him a shot. If you mess up in title, like, something had to go completely haywire that no one saw coming, because we don't deal in future events. We deal in the past.
Yeah.
And the past is already done. Like, the story's already been written, so your title history is already done. So if we don't find it, like chances are no one's gonna find it, right? Until something happens. So
until it comes in the 23rd hour and everyone's like, where the heck did that come from?
Yeah, or when, you know, an SI comes in with the closing docs and there's, you know, the fat child support lien attached to a social security number that no one knew about. You know, my client Ryan, if you see this, bro, don't worry, we got you, man.
No, that's the thing that's hard is like, it's especially probably for you guys, it's like calm sailing, and like normally it's like, okay, clues. Like we actually just had one with Joe that was like the ex-husband didn't want to give us any of the ex-wife's name. We couldn't get a hold of her, couldn't find her. And it was like the most common name in the world. And the seller's like, why are we even doing this? And it's like trying to explain to them like, hey, they're insuring this title. Like, has to be clear.
Yeah. Well, there's usually a reason that people aren't wanting to.
But then it worked out perfectly fine. I was like, why were you guys pushing this so hard? Like, we could have knocked it out like super. And the worst part about it's like, I don't care about it, but they do. Like, I have to get it cleared by them.
Yeah. I oftentimes I get a call and it's usually a text or a call or a screenshot of something. And it's like, we have a title problem. And I have to put on my detective hat and go to work, and my first call is usually to the title officer, whether that's Sarah or Sal on the file, and I usually tell them, I start it like, hey man, I'm on your team here, but I'm getting third-hand information. I'm just hearing we have a title problem. How can I help you? What can I get you to make you feel comfortable with this deal and close it and make everybody happy? But you're right, man. We find out at the last minute, especially on the rep side. And then we find out that escrow and the unit have been going back and forth for weeks, and this really has been an issue. But, you know, I get it. You know, like the reps, we're the boots on the ground. Like we are that connection from escrow and title to the client, to the listing agent or the buy-side agent, right? So we have to, 9 times out of 10, we're the ones that have to deliver that bad news. Hey,
Sal always gives me the bad news. Joe never gives me bad news. Sal's always giving me bad news. I told you.
I had one rule, you had one rule. This isn't going to be a me versus Joe thing, all right?
I'm just saying, Sal loves giving me bad news. I hate Sal. I'm like, Sal, every time I see you, it's bad news.
That's the fun part of this job, man, is that stuff inevitably comes up, you know. This
well, it says more deals that you do, they just gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's like flying. Like when I used to travel every 4 or 5 days, people are like, oh, it must be great to travel all the time. I'm like, no. Like the more flights you take, the more chance there are delays, the more chance you have sleeping in airports. Like the more you do something, the more likely something can go wrong.
Yeah. And to your point, like when I broke into this business, everyone was so busy that no one had the time to mess with a brand new title rep, right? And yeah, like, you know, I'm business savvy, I'm street savvy. Like, I get how to close a deal at the end of the day, but I was learning like on the fly, like deep end, like close
things
on.
are moving so fast. You know, it's crazy. We were having a talk yesterday, and I'd love to know your opinion about this. Like, obviously, your life is a little different because you guys also get title on the refi business. But like, I was busy during COVID, but like, how much were people busy, but it wasn't like making more money? Like you put a house on the market, you had 50 offers, but technically you're only getting paid on one of those deals. So now it's like if I put a house on the market and I get one full ask price or whatever, or 2 offers, I'm still making the same amount of money, but I'm not dealing with 50 people calling me like, hey, what can I do to get my offer accepted? What can I do? Like, that was probably the hardest part for you, was we were getting bombarded by like listing agents back then. We were getting bombarded by escrow title. Actually, really not a lot of escrow title because
they were busy.
They were so busy.
They were busy, dude.
They were doing banging refis.
Yeah.
It was agents like blowing us up. And now that things have slowed down, now it's like every day I get an escrow call or a title call. Or
I mean, honestly, the lending community is the one that really kind of helped me get a foot in the ground when I first started in title, because there was a ton of refi orders, and there's a little less liability on the title side on a refi order, because ultimately it's, you know, if the lender's comfortable with doing it, like they're going to do it, right?
For sure.
No one's moving out of the house type of thing.
That you know of.
Yeah, but you know, some of my first actual closed deals, you know, were from lenders who gave me a shot, and I'm thankful for that, because I got to see the life of a transaction. You know, I got to deal with, for the first time, you know, when docs were late, like how will we get the docs to title so we can record on time?
That's really your biggest headache for you guys, is when it's Friday
and
at
something
4
goes
o'clock
down,
and everyone's like, when are we recording? Why haven't we recorded yet?
Yeah.
Everyone's waiting for the recording.
Yeah.
My buyers are in a moving truck right now out front of the house. Like, can you close this deal?
Dude, I call it the slingshot, because when I first started, I started, and my boss, I think, jokingly gave me the Coachella Valley as a territory, and I was just so thankful he wasn't firing me 3 weeks into this, that I was like, I'll take it. So my first kind of experience with, we need to get docs to title was, around, like, I want to say like the dead of summer. If anybody's been to the Coachella Valley, it's hot.
Yeah.
So I had to go get docs from an escrow, and I slingshotted them back to Riverside in time. But in my mind, I was so happy to have a deal. I would have drove to Havasu if I had to close this deal. But it's how I learned the business, honestly, was being, you have to have deals in order to do deals, right? And some of the lenders who gave me a shot, I'm still friends, and I still do business with them today, because even when they're slow, because now the way that it's no secret, the lending community is a little bit slower now because of the rates where they're at, right? So how I'm kind of repaying my lenders who gave me a shot is I'm introducing them now to my realtor friends, who I think that they would be a good personality match with. Yeah. And I think any good affiliate, that's how you become a good affiliate, is you become an ultimate connector of people. And it's less about your title fees or your title premiums. To be quite honest, we're all within like $5 of each other. So
I don't even know what they are, to be honest.
It's never about price on title. If somebody's telling you it's about your price on title, like,
they don't want to use you.
Yeah. So it's not about that. So how I'm repaying my lender friends is connecting them with people, and any of my agents, any of my lenders will tell you that. I look for opportunities to put them with like-minded individuals that I do business with currently, and give them that warm introduction. From there, it's on them. Yeah. but I'm happy to be a conduit to link people together.
So when you started going after agents, like, what was something, there's so many type of different agents out there. There's so many, I mean, that's what's so crazy about this industry. Like, you could be 18 or you could be literally 90. Like, I've worked with both. Yeah. So for you, like, obviously a lot of people always say, like, work with your type of people. Or what were you looking for? Obviously in the beginning you would have worked with anyone, but now that you're kind of more seasoned and you're more tactical going after agents, like, what is it that you look for in agents?
I'm probably going to say the most played out term in this
Well, luckily
industry.
this is the second episode of this podcast and no one else has heard it, because I don't think Danny said anything.
But I look for agents with an open mindset.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I'm going to present ideas that I know work. Some of my top producing agents will tell you that they work, and I'm not looking for feathers on my cap or anything, but they're ideas that I've told them, like, hey, try this will work, and it does. And if I present that idea to an agent of mine, new, seasoned, whatever, I don't care, I just want you to be open to it, to at least looking at it and giving it an honest shot. I hate it when clients are like, postcards don't work. Yeah, maybe the one postcard you sent to 100 homes didn't work, but that doesn't mean postcards don't work.
Yeah.
So I look for clients that I can get along with and that are open to learning. Whether they've been in the game for 25, 30 years or they just got their license yesterday. Somebody that's down to listen to me and actually put what I'm telling them to use.
Yeah. So you obviously work with a lot of agents that do like one or two deals a year, and then you work with some top producers. Like, what is the trait that you see that kind of separates them?
The top producers, they're all in. Like, this is their job. It's not,
And what do you mean by that? Like, people always say that to me. Like I tell people that all the time, like, you got to be all in, and they're like, the hard part is like, what is it like for them? It's like, what is all in to them? Like, the hard part is all in can mean anything. Like, so what do you mean by all in, that you're seeing like the difference in them? Because some people go to the office every day and do no deals.
Yeah.
So for you, it's like, what is all in?
Even if you're not doing a deal every day, or you're not putting some under contract every day, or you're not going on listing appointments every day.
I used to hate that when agents be like, you got to go on 7 listings a week. I'm like, who the heck goes on 7 a week?
Half of America has an interest rate that starts with a 3 right now.
Say that, but like, who goes on 7? I go on 7 listing appointments a week. I'm like, you better be selling
Yeah, and then you look
250 houses a year.
You look up their
and
numbers.
The number they do 10.
Yeah,
It's like I always love that. You need to be going on a list, or you need to save your afternoons for your appointments. How many appointments are you going on? Like, god dang! Like, am I? So for you, like, what does that mean to you? What do you see it as?
I mean, my guys and gals that are crushing it. It's their job. They treat it as if they worked at Bank of America and they had, a 9 to 5 type of thing. They clock in every day and they have a schedule in place. They have systems in place. Systems is probably the biggest one. They have a CRM that they're actually working, that they're not like a CRM collector.
That's me.
Oh, I have Lions Desk, I have follow up, I have this, I have that. Okay, which one are you using?
I never use any of them.
Okay.
But for you, like, okay, so you said systems. Like, what kind of systems are you kind of seeing people use right now that are working?
Honestly, a lot of our systems that we provide for free. Ticor Tech Farm is probably the biggest one. We've invested so much money into this system, and agents underutilize it. So much. If I can give any piece of free advice out there, get with me and let's get on Ticor Tech Farm like ASAP.
What are you doing with your agents on Ticor Tech Farm?
It's so a lot of circle prospecting. When people come to me and they want to start farming, that's a loaded conversation piece right away. I want to take the idea of farming and really make it, instead of macro, micro. So when people are like, if you came to me and you're like, oh, I want to farm all of Riverside, I'd be like, bro, you live in Orange Crest. Like, let's focus on Orange Crest first.
Even Orange Crest, that was a big mistake I made when I first started. I would mail to all of Orange Crest. It was 8,000 houses. Mm-hmm. You don't realize, like, you do that 5 months in a row, it's so expensive.
Yeah, that's like, what, $5-10 grand, right?
Dude, it was
right off the
so
bat.
expensive.
Yeah.
And I was such an idiot for doing that. I've done so many stupid things. But, like, that was way too big. But then I had people like, oh, I farmed 200 houses. I'm like, okay, that's also not going to work either.
Yeah, so what I want to do, like I said, we keep investing a ton of money in a Ticor Tech Farm. And, you look at systems with like AI now, and AI is playing a little bit of it, where we can literally go into Ticor Tech Farm and click a drop down to where it says target farm. And it's going to tell you, out of those 8,000 homes or whatever that you were farming, hey, Adam, just focus on these 322 people. All of a sudden, we're talking, it's more manageable. You could be way more personalized in your approach. You can do
so you're not EDDMing.
So I believe in both of it a little bit. So I think that EDDM is great to build your brand, because people need to know that you're everywhere at all times.
So you're almost double dipping.
But those people that are raising their hand saying that they're going to sell their home soon, you better be like besties.
So like EDDM once a month, and then like those 300 people inside of maybe 3,000, you're hitting them another time a month, more personalized.
I would get even down and dirty and do something like unsolicited CMA. Yeah. Something that really kind of puts a dollar sign to their home. You already know that they're raising their hand, like, I'm going to sell my home pretty soon. I'm going to sell my home pretty soon. Who's going to be the one to get the listing? Like, I have, people that come to me all the time. Why did my neighbor list their house with another agent and not me? Oh, it's because
they probably don't even know you're
a real estate agent.
Yeah,
they just know you're a nice guy, right? That's something that, you and I connected early on in my career, and I still remember it to this day. You said you need to do 3 things. You said people need to know what you do, people need to like you, and you need to be consistent. Yeah. And if you do those 3 things, and some of these people, probably the 4 people that are going to watch this thing, I've probably told 4 of the people that are watching this the same thing. I said, if you want to be consistent in your farming, or if you want to be good at your farming, you got to be consistent. People need to know what the hell it is you're doing, that you can help them buy or sell real estate. And people need to like you.
Well, I think the hard part with farming, it's like, it's not just postcarding like that. And I think that's why, like you said, it needs to be smaller, because like you also need to like door knock that. You also need to circle prospect call that. It should be somewhere you maybe live, so then you could do like community stuff, like renting a dumpster and letting everyone know they can throw their stuff in your dumpster, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's, I think the hard part is people just think it's like postcard. You're like, okay, well, that's great, but you have to like knock on the doors and do everything else. That's why I don't farm, because like I know I can't commit to the door knocking and then calling. I can mail it.
Even like creative stuff. I mean, it's 4th of July. I live in Upland. Brianna Price puts does a lot. She puts an American flag on my lawn. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, that's so different than, you know, just the postcard, you know, around Thanksgiving that has a pumpkin pie recipe on it.
Yeah.
Don't be that agent. Just don't be that agent.
The hard part is like what you should be doing is like inviting your past clients to get pies.
Yeah. That way you can see them. Yeah. Right. Bobby Joe Kelly, great client of mine, great friend of mine. Like she's my killer. Like I love Bobby Joe. I'm her title rep, and she puts me on her same farming campaign.
But does she have you on a podcast?
Bobby Joe does not have a podcast, okay, but she does get, you know, my family a pie.
Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving, and it's not like a drop off thing. It's a like, hey, come hang out, you know, and let's talk about it, you know.
I think if people just invested more in like client, and I'm so guilty of not doing them, but client appreciation.
I don't feel appreciated, Adam.
No, not at all. But client appreciation events, like that's something that's so huge. But it's like, it's so weird. We work with these people, but it's like so awkward. Like I'm very awkward with my past clients. Like I'm not.
Why? I don't know. They trusted you with their biggest asset.
I agree, but like I don't know. I don't go to and get pies from my doctor. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like that's kind of like the hard thing. Maybe now that I'm married with kids now, like I'm more personable. But like especially when I was like young and single, like I felt weird. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's just a reason not to do something.
I think that you're kind of
let's like have this amazing sign.
Yeah, the reason why we haven't done this podcast yet,
honestly,
is because
they already know, because of the sign.
Because
it took me a long time to draw this
stupid sign, right? Yeah. So he said, "Oh, I got this great sign, like it's neon and it's beautiful, bro. We can't do it until that was like
November.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. So I did
and now look at the sign. So
it's amazing.
I'm gonna sign this sign,
no, you're not
and I'm taking it.
No, frame it up. So, okay, so you say people treat it like a job and they treat them like they're full-time. So, like, why do you think the agents that you currently work with that don't treat it that way, what do you think it is that they... Because everyone wants... most people, like, 1%, no. I would say maybe 5% of the people that they don't need to do any deals. They don't need to make any money, whatever. But the two that, like, you probably work with people that you know this is their only income. You know they do deals, but they don't, like, fully commit to it. Why do you think that is?
I just think that it's because... a lot of people get into real estate for the freedom of the schedule, and when they get into real estate, they realize that it's not freedom of the schedule. It's now your schedule's 24/7, and it's very, very hard for folks that aren't necessarily self-motivated or self-starters to dedicate, 8 to 2 to prospect or, money making activities. What are you doing today that's going to help you make some money? And if you got into this because of the freedom of the schedule and the flexibility in the schedule, it's probably the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Like straight up. And I hate to be blunt like that.
That's why you're on the podcast.
It's the 100K podcast, right?
Well, but it's so crazy to me because you over the years, I've been doing this 8 years now, and I've had so many conversations, I've done so many panels, I've done so many talks, whatever. And then you're just like, yeah, you need to do this. And they're like, yeah. And then like, they don't do it. It's like, I try to figure, I can't like calculate in my head, like, why don't you just quit then? It doesn't make sense to me.
Dude, that's one of my biggest frustrations, to be quite honest with you, is I'll devote an entire 2-3 hours to go meet with an agent for the first time, right? They finally give me the shot. Yeah, let's go. And I
bring all the bells and whistles.
9.5 times out of 10, they don't have a title order to give you that day. It's all good, dude.
Yeah.
My business is a lot like agents' business, where I do all my work up front, and I'm praying to God when it's time to go look at houses, they're going to choose you for an agent, and you're going to choose me when it comes to right and title on the RPA, right? So I do all my work up front. But what frustrates me, or what disappoints me a little bit, is I'll invest a ton of time, I'll show you all the bells and whistles, and then nothing gets done.
Or it takes takes years.
And then it turns into, what have you done for me lately? And it's just like, but when they do get a listing, it's what have you done for me lately? It's like, what I did for you never did. So and that hurts, man. And then I look at myself, I'm like, damn, did I drop the ball, or did they just not follow up?
That's like
I can't hold people's hands.
That's like agents that have worked here. I'm like, I always tell them from the bat, I'm like, if you don't want to work, like, this isn't gonna matter, and then it's like, oh, like the split's too high or whatever. I'm like, dude, you don't take advantage of any things we offer. Like, what do you I can't force you to come in and shoot content. I can't force you to use all our systems. I can't force you to do all these things. And so it's like hard because then agents are like, oh, I want this and I need this and I need help and I do it. And you're like, okay, here you go. Here it is. And then it doesn't go anywhere. So for you, like, have you seen an agent go from not doing that to then actually into like actually doing the things you say they're going to do?
Yeah, and they get listings,
and
bro.
They do listings.
They get listings.
Yeah, okay.
They get listings. The shit works. Like, I got a text Friday night, and it was one of those like, dude, month end. And if you know our business, man, month end we get our ass kicked. Like,
which I don't even know why everything leans to the end of the month.
I have no idea, dude. But for whatever reason,
it's like, why does everything close on Fridays?
For whatever reason, a lot of deals close that last 2-3 days of the month, and it's kind of the race to the finish line, right? So what you're dealing with is just overworked, very, very busy escrow officers, lenders, processors, title units, notaries. Everybody, dude, is like up to here. And it was Friday. It was our month end, and I got home. I went in the pool with the kids. I just kind of like chilled, right? So I'm on the couch, and I get a text around like 7 o'clock. And it's one of my clients, brand new agent, full-time job elsewhere, but she committed to real estate. She heard me talk at an office meeting. She reached out to me. Vince, I really want to set an appointment. Okay, that's interesting.
That's
right?
the first.
Yeah, all right, cool. She held her appointment. She confirmed. I was like, this is cool. Like, I felt like, okay, you see the value in like what I'm providing. And we just did some basic circle prospecting around where she lives in Ontario. And she said, I want to focus on these homes. She drew it out on a map for me. I said, yeah, no problem. I found, I don't know the exact number, but it was less than 50 likely sellers, people raising their hand. I want to give this new agent the best shot at getting a listing. I said, focus on these 50 people. So we just did we drew up, a simple template, helped her out a little bit. She got him out on her own, and that was like 3-4 months ago. So Friday night, month end, I'm exhausted. Kids are screaming, and I get a text from her. She's like, hey, Vince, just want to let you know, just want to say thank you. I went on my first listing appointment from the letters that you made me send out and held my hand to make sure we sent them out, and I'm going to get the listing. I told Barb, I said, babe, like, it works. Yeah. Like, what I'm doing is working. Yeah. Like, this is the
Isn't that
proof.
the most frustrating thing in our job? It's like you do all this stuff and you're like, does it even work? And then and then you're like, it does work.
It does work.
It does work.
Works, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we worked. Like, we went to work, and we made a very clear battle plan, so to speak. And if she gets one listing from it, dope. But she got a call back from it. So it's like, dude, it works.
Yeah.
So
it's so exciting when something you do works, and you're like I mean, in the corner over here we have like 50 more CMAs going out, and it's like those, when you get that call and you're like, oh my god, it worked. Someone actually, like, what people, I have a listing coming up in 2 weeks. I've been sitting that person's CMAs since 2019.
Yeah.
And they finally decided to sell.
So isn't it frustrating then I'm going to turn the questions around on you, when agents are like, dude, like, how do you do it? Like, how do you prospect expireds?
Yeah.
And you're like, I wish I can give you like a 2-sentence answer, but some people, it takes time.
I mean, the hard thing is, like, even with builders, right? Like, people see me now, but like, I got my first builder in 2017 by like kind of luck, right place, right time, close the opportunity. And then I met a builder that year. I didn't do a real project with him for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years. I was still having to follow up, check in on him. Do you need anything? Let me run numbers for that project. Let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. I wasn't making a dime. And then we put the houses on the market. I didn't get paid. Like, I mean, COVID was good because that was the first one, but like our second one we dropped in 2023, like, dude, I didn't sell a house. I didn't close one of those things for, like, we had tons of bad weather. I didn't close one for like 6 months. And I'm at that project almost every day, working. Yeah. And people are like, oh, must be nice. And I'm like, yeah, switch me 1 second.
Dude, I relate
switch me 1 day. Try 1 day. And I'm like, and I'm not getting like 3% a pop on these. I'm getting 1%.
Yeah.
Like,
I relate that back to my career at Cisco, dude. I was the youngest guy by far in food sales, and if you want to sharpen your teeth in sales, you go try to sell something to a chef. Like, good luck, right? Yeah. So there were some accounts, dude. Eureka was one of my huge prospects. Slater's 50/50 they were huge. Kabuki, I got all the Kabukis. That was dope, right? But it literally took me years to kind of like climb the ranks, to be the decision maker. I was making a dime, dude. I ate so much Kabuki.
So you would just go in?
I was just there, dude. I was just there eating, like peeping the scene, right? Like praying to God I would catch a general manager or whatever. Uh-huh. And it was actually a busboy that connected me with a general manager. Nice. And that put me on the map at Cisco for US Foods at that time. But it was, I get it. This shit's not easy.
Dude, it's not. Like, it takes so much time. The hard part is, like, people don't process, like I tell my team all the time, like, yeah, if you got started in 2016, it was way different when I first started. It's complete, like, Zillow was still new. Instagram and social media, there was only Instagram and Facebook. That was it, really, on Twitter, but no one used it. Now it's like, I remember when guys were like, we need to get on Snapchat. That's going to be the big thing. Instagram's going to be dead. We need to start. So then we're posting on Snapchat. We're posting on Instagram. We're posting on Facebook. We're posting on LinkedIn. Like, all these platforms. I wish we would have gone harder on YouTube. Idiots.
I mean, like, you talk like generationally almost, like in our industry. I never learned how to be a title rep, like, ever. And mainly because of COVID.
Because you didn't have time. But that's every agent right now.
Well, the idea of a title rep before COVID was the guy that would go in a 3-piece suit, to every office and hand out notepads and pens and whatever tchotchke they had.
I do love Ticor pens.
They're the best.
The blue pens are the
best. but I never learned that. And I literally learned how to become a title rep just by going out and making friends. Yeah. Which was a trip. Some of my biggest clients to this day, like, are some of my buddies. Like, and they do massive amount of deals. And
well, that's the thing that people don't understand. It's like who you want to deal with on a regular basis. Yeah. Yeah. And that just takes time. Do you? I mean, obviously, like, this is for agents, but I'll ask you a title question. Is like for new title people or whatever, it's like, do you feel like too many people try to go after the big fishes when it's like most of them are set already?
Yeah, but you'd be surprised, man. Like, believe it or not, like, the only kind of a bit of advice or training that I got in the beginning, this isn't a knock on Ticor, there's just no training manual for this shit.
There's no training for none. Listen, there's no training for agents either. So
they gave me a report of, like, the top agents, right? And I'm just there, dude, I got in front of the number one guy at Keller Williams. I think he's probably one of the top guys in the nation.
Really?
He runs a massive team out of the desert, right? And he was so gracious in, like, giving me a shot and appreciating my hustle. And dude, I did a few deals with these guys, and looking back on it, I was in no way prepared for that amount of transactions. Like, I had no idea what I was doing, right? And it's prime COVID. Like, so I ran into him at a Brokers Open recently, and I just shook his hand. I was like, dude, man, thank you for giving me a shot, 4 years ago. And he was like, dude, like, I just appreciated your hustle. And so, to answer your question about the big fish, don't be afraid to go after the big fish. Like, I did, and I actually kind of landed one there for a little bit. But you kind of get that on the job training, like, right away. You either get it or you don't. And that was such a huge learning experience for me. And I'll probably go back at some point now that I'm more seasoned and say, hey, I won't say his name, but like, hey man, like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready now. So let's revisit this.
Yeah. So what advice are you giving your agents right now? Obviously, it's crazy that I feel like, and let me ask your opinion, I feel like there's like two types of agents right now. There's like no deals and then 25 deals a year. Like, I can't name anyone that does 12 deals a year anymore. Like, and that used to be like the standard. Like, everyone did, right? Everyone did one a month for the most part. Like, obviously not in theory. Like, the average, a lot of agents don't ever work, so that the average is always super low for that reason. But like, agents that I were around, they're like, oh yeah, I'll do 12 deals this year. But now I don't know anyone that's doing 12. It's like you do 24 or you do 1. So for you, like, are you seeing that right now with your agents that you're working with, and what advice are you giving the ones that need a little bit of help to get momentum?
Well, I think those numbers are actually very correct, because these last 2 years, dude, let's be honest, like, we've all kind of got kicked a little bit, right? And
no, I got kicked in 22.
Yeah, but
22 is terrible.
But I think you've seen a little bit of a thinning of the herd in terms of the agents. So yeah, you're going to see the ones that are doing really well and the ones that are fighting to hang on to the dream of being an agent.
I'm surprised more offices haven't shut down. I thought that was something we were going to see. And maybe it's still coming, but I just thought we'd see way more people like close shop.
Yeah. I mean,
and maybe they are. I'm just not paying attention.
You're seeing it. I mean, I think that there is a little bit of, where some locations had 2 or 3 locations and now they're consolidating into one, so people are kind of, tightening their belt, so to speak. But in terms of advice, like what advice I give to agents is to be very, 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 very targeted with your marketing, because just like everything else in, an inflationary, economy, you're seeing everything cost more. So like to send a postcard now or to, buy some phone numbers or whatever, it costs more. So like if you're gonna do it right. It's something my mom always told me, like if you're gonna do it right. So if you're going to spend the time and the resources and the money marketing, do it right. Like get with the title professional. I don't even care if it's me or not. Just like have somebody spot check you or kind of help you out a little bit or point you in the right direction to say, hey, maybe farming an area of 10,000 people, probably not the best idea. Let's tighten that down to like 1,500. And then from there, find the likely sellers or find the absentee investor owners, the people that aren't necessarily married to their interest rate. So yeah, my advice would just be way more targeted with any type of marketing efforts you're doing. Believe it or not, man, there's still transactions out there. You could tell me, I think, how many have you closed already? Like 20 something? Yeah. So
well, that's what's crazy. So I track every Monday on deals, and like we're closing in Riverside, we're closing honestly on average almost the same amount we were.
The deals are there.
That we did a year ago, and we did it 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like the hard thing is like I was saying earlier in the podcast, like during COVID, like you felt busy. I think that's the hard part is everyone feels slow. Mm-hmm. Their listings like, oh, I only had 2 offers, or I only had 5 showings, or I only had you don't have 50. Like you didn't need. I used to remember. Oh my god, dude, the things that we dealt with back then. Like I'd shut my phone off. Mm-hmm. I would literally shut my phone off because I would be getting so many calls and texts from agents. Like, what can I do to get my offer set? What am I doing? And it was like every counter offer was the exact same. Highest and best. Remove appraisal. Remove your contingencies in 7 days. Like.
But that was busy work.
Dude, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, we felt so busy. Like, we were talking about, I was running buyers around that now that I look back, like, those people that never had a chance to buy a house. Mm-hmm. But everyone wanted to buy it, and I was running around. And now that I'm like, I'm only showing 2 buyers right now. It's like, well, when I was showing 10, maybe out of those 10, I don't think 10 could have all bought because they didn't have the money for gaps and all that stuff. Like, I mean, that was the craziest market that I honestly hope we never see again.
It was nuts, dude. It was nuts. I kind of think we might see a touch of it as soon as interest rates, tick down just a little bit.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be the wild, wild west again, and I think everybody's going to be slammed. And I also think it's going to be great for agents that have survived this because there's going to be less agents. There's going to be less, people to handle those deals. I guarantee that. I mean, we're already seeing it.
What's one thing if you could tell most agents or agents in general, and you don't say it because you don't want to upset them because obviously your clients, what's something you would tell them? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Man, I don't want to piss off my entire client base here, but
what advice would you wish you could give them that you're worried that they would take it the wrong way?
Lean on me, man. Like lean on me. Like I'm not...
But don't you feel, you say lean on you, but then it's like, I feel like title or agents are like, how do I get deals? And I always try to tell them, like, if your title rep was so good at getting deals, they would be an agent.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? Like, that's the hard part too.
Like more so, not necessarily lean on me. Don't look at me as a title rep. Look at me as a business partner. Look at me as a partner in your business and somebody that actually is.
And you don't feel like agents do that with you?
I don't. I think
what do you think? How they treat you?
I think that I get kind of, some agents do see me as a vital, part of their business and business partner, but I think that I get looped into the stereotypical title rep that's passing out pens and passing out notepads, and that's no knock on them. That's just the industry. It's up to me to change the industry.
Why did it go that way? I never understood that way. That was like the thing.
Well,
because they couldn't pay for trips anymore.
Yeah, the whole SB 133 thing and the compliance thing. You know,
they were like, "Oh, dude, I can't pay anyone anymore." Like, what?
Oh shit, I got to bring value.
I can't pay for their car.
I got to actually do something to earn some business.
But I don't feel like, is there that many title reps out there? Like, I can only name like a handful, but I don't really interact. I'm not really like.
Yeah, there's a good amount. It's a small fraternity, you know, for sure. But it's one of those things, like I said earlier, where it's set it and forget it 9 times out of 10 with agents. And
I do not set it and forget it.
Oh, I know. I get it. Trust me, I get those calls. But no, but the bar of like a good title rep is so low.
Well, that's why, because I treat them
so low.
I treat them like my business partner.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm out here trying to figure out how to make more money.
Make us money.
Yeah, make us money.
Yeah,
it's us money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, it's us making money together.
Yeah.
If I make money, then you make money. Like, honestly, like, that's sometimes, you know, like, for me personally, like, I look at it as like, I'm not just working for myself. Like, I always think about that too. Like, what if I just quit tomorrow? Because there's many times I want to quit. Last week you were like, "You're the most angriest agent I've ever met in my life," and I said, "Yeah, because I do deals. That's why." But like, if I quit, like, how much that would take money out of certain people's pockets? Like,
yeah, you run like a little small economy.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like, and that's probably sucks for you guys, because all of a sudden maybe an agent retires or has a baby and doesn't or gets married or something like that. Now it's a life-changing thing. You're like, oh shoot, that person was feeding me 20 deals a year and now it's 2, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've lost some clients, man. You know, some of it of my own fault, I'll own it. And then some other stuff where it's just like, what the hell? What? You know, and dude, it is the most humbling thing to ever go through as a title rep.
When you lose someone?
When you lose, especially somebody that you like, bro, like we've bonded, you know, like we've actually, like, I've like held you in an embrace, like we're in this together, and then you find out that they open up a title order with somebody else. And
see, the hard part for me is it blows my mind, because I just could never do that. Right? Like, so for me, it's so difficult when I hear people do it, because I'm like, unless you did something to screw it up, and we've had this call, like, the only reason anyone ever uses someone else is they don't feel like that you appreciate them. So it's like, if I feel like I'm appreciating you, like, if I'm showing you that I appreciate all your hard work and whatever, like, and then you go someone, like, how would you feel if that happened to you? Like, man. It's so, but that's the funny thing about agents, is they don't even process it. They're like, oh, well, that person said they'd give my seller 10% discount. Yeah. Like, do you know how much that is?
It's like $12,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I have an agent who literally uses a certain title company because they give him a 20% discount.
Oh, dude, man, I've been
and I'm like,
I know the title.
I don't even know.
I know the title company, and I don't like you guys.
I'm like, I don't even. No one's ever even asked me what title fees are.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, what are those people providing you to help you get more business? Well, nothing. Well, then that's your fault. That's your fault. Like,
you know what? Actually, I get excited when I run into somebody and they're like, "Well, my title company gives me this and that," and it's just like, "Oh, okay, cool." So that's the bar. That's the bar, right?
That's how low it is.
That's the bar. So what happens when I overcome that? It's just like you at that point, I feel like you can't lose me as a business partner. Like, you can't.
I'm telling you, dude. If I was a title rep, for sure, I'd be so embedded. Like, that's something we do with our builders. Like, I take over everything. People are like, you work so hard for them and you don't make the money that you should. I'm like, I'm super grateful,
bro.
I'm super grateful.
What was that, like Thursday or something? I was in this office printing out labels, like, for the 3rd time. Like, you think that's something I want to do?
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't want to do that. Do you think it's something I should be doing? But probably not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's like, for me, it's like, well, like, I'm gonna do everything for those people. So I'm so tied into their business that they can't even get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, they're so, like, I'm so sucked in on them.
Yeah.
Like, boy, we're married. Like, it's gonna take divorce paperwork to get rid of me. I got a prenup.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I've had
and we have 2 children. So good luck. Right. Like, I try to get so in depth with them because it's like, no, like, we're here. Yeah. This is our thing. Yeah. We're together. Yeah. So good luck if you're trying to mail my builder.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Exactly. Or in my business, like, good luck if the title rep pops in or sends you a canned email. Like, now it's gotten to the point where my clients send me screenshots and they're like, bro, like, you don't send me these emails. Ryan, I'm talking to you. But it's funny now, like, because the relationships that I've cultivated with my clients, like, good luck, man. And it's it's something that I wake up for. I wake up every day at 0, and I gotta continue to earn business.
I don't know why if I was a title rep, I would just go out and be like, I would just consume as much content to help my agents on the listing side, and then just like spit it to them like it's my information when it's totally not. And
if anybody follows me on Instagram, that's pretty much all I do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what's so crazy nowadays. Like, we were talking about this the other day about like SOPs for the team. I literally was on Instagram yesterday, and some team was like, "Do you want our free buyer and seller SOPs?" I'm like, "Sure." Put my email in, whatever, because they're trying to recruit. They're running an ad trying to recruit people to a brokerage, and I just handed it over to Emily. I'm like, "Here's our SOPs. They're done." Like, the information has never been easier to get.
Oh my God.
It's everywhere.
It's
everywhere. Like, follow like 5 people in the industry. Like, I'm telling you, I was talking before the podcast. Like, I steal so much stuff from the owner of Reels. His stuff is so good. I don't even pay a coach. His stuff's for free. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like, one of his things was like today was like, don't ever ask someone if they're working with an agent.
Dude, I got in trouble recently because like I ripped off and repeated like something that, agents should be doing, and I apparently got to a title rep. It had to, but like I was like, oh cool, it worked.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right.
So it happens, man. Like, all the information's out there. You have to, number one, be smart enough to seek it and then digest it and then regurgitate it out.
Do you think too many people take too many routes and they just get overwhelmed
and then they never get going?
Nothing?
Yeah, they're just spinning their wheels and not going anywhere.
Do you think a lot of people should focus more on their sphere of influence before going to anywhere else?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, these people know, like, and trust you already, and in many cases they're your past clients. Like, why wouldn't you?
What I don't understand is like I try to tell my team, it's like, if you can't close
why am I giving more leads? Yeah.
If you can't close a stranger, like, that's something I was talking to an agent today. They're like, well, what leads do you have? Do you have Zillow? Do you have this? I'm like, none. And they're like, what? And I'm like, dude, you can't even convince your friend to hire you, or your mom's best friend to hire you, or someone you know. Mm-hmm. You think you're going to hire some random lead on Zillow that's been being called by 5 other agents? Like, of course not. Mm-hmm. I don't think they understand that process. It's like, oh, I want leads. Do you want to call them 15 times and get yelled at? Yeah. Like, I know I don't.
Dude, I was going to think, I had something to say and I totally forgot. I brain farted. Oh, man. God damn it. What the hell was I going to say? Because it was good and it was right on it. Oh, I hate this. God, I'll come back to it. Ask me something else.
But yeah, so for you, like, what are the things obviously you've talked about farming, you talked about this. What is that other app that Tom Ferry's always talking about? Isn't that connected to Tycor?
Breakthrough Broker.
Is that
Tycor Agent 1?
Yeah, Tycor Agent 1.
Dude, that one's dope. If you don't have that, like, I mean, you're already minus 2 points already, because it's so easy to work, and it's net sheets on demand.
Net sheets on demand is huge. Yeah, I do all my net sheets up there.
Like, why would you bug an escrow officer that's trying to close deals?
Yeah.
Like, literally trying to close your deals.
Well, they're not that far off. They're not that far off.
They're never that far.
They're like few hundred each way.
And if we know the escrow you're working with, we can load their fees in there, and then it'll be right.
Yeah.
So, that app is cool. And there's a ton of like prospecting tools in there that are new and just keep kind of getting loaded in. You talk about our partnership with Tom Ferry because it brings up something that we talked about earlier in the podcast, where implementation's so hard for agents.
Is this the workaround do you think Title is doing now, because they can't pay for stuff like they used to? I'm
not going anywhere into compliance. I'm already on a list.
Okay, I'll say it's like, it's pretty smart. Like, let's just build the technology. We won't charge anyone for it, but then it'll bring us deals.
Well, yeah, we're selling title and escrow at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
But so like implementation.
Yeah.
So I know so many agents that'll spend 3 days out of their market to go to a Tom Ferry thing. Right?
Isn't it?
Out of their market, spend thousands of dollars to go to it, which I get. Some people need that kick in the butt to get going. Totally, I get it. And there's a million great points that are brought up there, but then you get back into your market and you're like, oh shit, how do I implement all that? So I think that our partnership now is so great with Tom Ferry, in that we have the element of implementation with Breakthrough Broker, which is huge. So
what is Breakthrough Broker again?
So Breakthrough Brokers, to put it very simply and probably mildly, they're a real estate marketing suite. That
is that what you got me to sign up for?
Yeah, where you did your landing page.
I never use it. Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
but
no
anyways,
I'm that's what's crazy. I tell people all the time, I'm terrible at doing a lot of stuff. You just it still works. Like you know what I mean.
But the cool thing is that now, like if Tom Ferry's up there, blabbing about some great idea or shattering idea, now it takes out the implementation for agents, that excuse. And it's easy to do through Breakthrough Broker. So like landing pages and things like that, you can do it just like that.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part of my job now is I get to go and kind of pitch a lot of this stuff that is working, stuff that the Tim Smith Group in Newport Beach is doing to land $10 million listings. Why can't you do that in Rialto for a $500,000 home?
That's the one thing I will say that we've really focused on this year is like why is my marketing anything less than what you see out in Oceanside? Like every listing we take now is a 4-page pamphlet.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason that, and then but people are like blown away by it. I love when agents come and they steal my marketing from my open house to take for themselves. And I'm like, you're not going to do it anyways because it costs money.
Well, the problem right now with listing agents is that, or newer agents, is that they'll stumble upon a listing and they'll just sell a listing. That's it. And it stops. When right now, inventory being so low, listings are gold. If you have a listing, you need to be shouting from the rooftops that you have a listing. You need to be touching the neighbors. You need to be touching the investors in the area, the renters in the area. Like that's your shot to double end it. Like why wouldn't you? And then after that thing closes, why aren't you telling the story?
The hard part about sometimes like is really having to be able to like slow your clients down. Mm-hmm. Like now that I do all this print stuff, I have to like warn them. I'm like, hey, listen, it's like 10 days. Like after we do photos, I can't put if we're not gonna do any of that stuff, it takes me 10 days to get everything back from print. Like it's not instant. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like you have to slow it down. That's what people don't understand. It's like you can't slow it. You have to slow the process down to give yourself time to like be able to go do all those things.
Well, bro, like my clients are agents.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to like slow them down too because they're just trying to go on to the next thing. Because it's
like photos Wednesdays, house on the market Thursday. It's like, dude, and then if you price it right, it's in escrow by Monday. Like you never had time to let it like soak.
But like, what's on the news right now?
I know
what's on the news right now. It's.
But that's what I'm saying.
Real estate agents are overpaying.
That's what I'm saying. You have to slow it down. But that's the thing. You have to like go in and like slow it down and like,
or tell it. And then even if it moves quickly, who cares? Tell the story after the fact. Because otherwise, if you just come out and say, I listed and sold your neighbor's home in 14 days and we got 14,000 over ask. Great. Was it you? Are you really that great, or is it just the market?
Well, I think the other thing too that agents have to realize is like we'll send out postcards to invite people to the open house, and then if it's an area like, for example, like we have one coming up in Victoria, like I have a house coming up in Victoria Woods and I have one coming up in Redlands. I don't really want to farm Redlands because I work in Riverside. Like I want to be a Riverside agent. Redlands, if I pick up another one, great. Yeah. But like, so this one, it's like we're gonna send twice as many as postcards. Yeah. I got a domain name for that neighborhood. Yeah. Like. We'll send a coming soon one, then we'll send an open house, then we'll send an escrow,
nurture it a little
then
bit.
We'll send a closing with a review from the clients, because that's a neighborhood I would love to pick up another one in. If I pick up another one in Redlands, like cool, that's fine.
Yeah, you bring up a great point though. It's something that
because I have to spend a certain amount of money, right? Yeah. Like so, it's like why throw an extra $1,000 in Redlands when I'm focused here, when I'm already well known here, like especially because it's like right across the street from the Victoria Club, and like people know me in that neighborhood. And
I get it, but I'm gonna kind of bark back a little bit. I consider your Victoria Woods farm like wifey farm. Like we're married to this farm. This is my roots.
For sure.
Not going anywhere. I'm known in the area. It's always going to take care of me. And it may take a little bit of time to nurture and develop and cultivate those leads. But Redlands, bro, you still got a listing. You still going to...
I know. I'm still postcarding it.
Yeah.
I'm still postcarding
So I call that more so like speed dating.
I'm just not going to do 4, and I'm not going to do twice as many. And I'm not going to get a domain name.
Great.
No,
Great.
I'm still postcarding it.
But speed date it a little bit. Yeah. And if you speed date it...
Test the waters. If I get one, for sure.
why not?
That's what I'm saying.
So, but agents a lot of times that I work with,
they don't want to spend the money on postcarding.
Then send letters. Letters cost a stamp.
That's
like
true.
How much is a stamp? 60 cents?
I don't even know
So
anymore.
we get smart and just send it to likely sellers in the area. Hey, I just sold your neighbor's house.
Yeah, for sure.
You next?
You know, I would say is putting reviews from the sellers on your selling post. Like after you're sold, put a 5-star review from the seller on that. So it's like someone else said you did a great job.
Yeah, that's something that you told me to do for my clients, and I started implementing it, and it's cool getting that text when the Google review hits.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that. That was so nice."
Oh, that thing. Yeah,
but it helps, right?
I'm telling you, that one is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know what's crazy?
That's
is
good money.
I've been trying to do it, and a lot of the people I'm doing deals across don't have Google. I can't even write them a review.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, missed opportunity.
It's like, how do you not have one? If you're an agent nowadays, how do you not Google your name and see what comes up?
Yeah, unbelievable.
I think that would be the number one thing if you're an agent who wants to make 100K. Like, Google your name today and see like what comes up.
Yeah.
Because if I'm sending out postcards, they're gonna Google my name. Mm-hmm. And if what comes up there is not flattering, they're not gonna hire me.
Or if you type in, like Adam Schwarz Realtor and say Adam Schwarz Realtor isn't there, Google's still picking up the realtor, and before you know it, they're in
someone
Zillow.
else is
they're
at.
in Zillow.
Yeah, exactly.
Zillow leads. I mean, I've heard this a couple times, and I think it's so true. Zillow buyer leads are neglected sellers.
That's all they are. Yeah,
that's all they are.
Yeah.
Whether their agent died or whatever, or they just like peace out, like
or they're a seller somewhere down the road.
Exactly.
It's just hard. Like that's. The hard part about Zillow now is like you can't really get it unless you're on Flex, and then Flex is only for a certain amount of teams, and then you can lose your Flex account very quickly. They don't mess around anymore, dude. Mm-hmm. They're like, you got to call, which is smart.
There's also like a lot of more arms to Zillow now, so like they want you to
do
push
more
Zillow lending and whatever they call it now, and
before you know, they'll have title and escrow.
Oh yeah, dude. Everybody's been trying to break into the title game forever, dude. Like, I don't get why people would want to get into this.
Well, the hard part is you have to have a lot of money, because you might have a bad deal and you lose some money. Yeah. And if you don't have that cash,
dude, Fidelity National Financial is the number one year after year after year after year title company in the nation. Yeah. And that means something. That means something to home sellers, home buyers. Why did you guys do that?
Why do you know that answer? Like why Ticor is under them, but why wouldn't just everyone be Fidelity? Why do you have sisters? Did they buy each other?
I
assume they bought each other.
I have no idea.
I assume Fidelity
Ticor was the first actually brand.
So I assume someone bought.
And then when Chicago Title came around, we kind of like diluted the brand of Ticor a little bit to elevate Chicago a little bit. But Ticor's been around forever.
They're probably all owned by the same people.
Fidelity.
Yeah, Fidelity.
Fidelity.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yep.
Well, Vince, I appreciate your time.
Dude, we did it.
Dude, only an hour.
Yeah. I wasn't that bad.
No, is it? Yeah, it's not bad. What do you like doing better? This or doing your videos at Aaron's office?
Dude, stop it. I love doing
No, I know. I like your videos. I'm just asking you. I'm asking you what you like better.
That's like asking like who's your favorite kid.
I have a favorite child. I have a favorite dog.
I think that
that's not true. I don't have a favorite dog. I'm sorry.
You need to do both. Like that short form video and the long form video. I think you need it both. So that's like saying what kind of farming works. Yeah. Like all of it, all of it works. Whatever you're doing works. Works. So.
I wonder in like another. Obviously, there's been a big shift in 8 years. I wonder what's going to be like in another 8 years.
I want to do one of these on a golf course.
Why? We've done that before.
No, like a real one where we bring Adrian out. And it's like a real one. We're just talking shit out there. Like, I think it'd be good.
I've actually thought about doing because I'm a 6 handicap right now. I've thought about doing a bagger. Okay. I'd like to do something like Road to Zero, like Road to Scratch. Just like to shoot.
You might never get there, bro.
I might never. Like shoot something different than just a real estate content. Like I've thought about doing like another type of content to like Road to Zero. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm never gonna be a 0. I would love to be single digit.
You could. What are you, a 12 right now? Yeah. You're close, dude. You bomb it. You hit it farther than I do.
I'm a 12. I'd like to get. I don't really care what I get, man. I just like to go out and have fun.
Do you? Is it ever frustrating when you're just like you like? How do you balance like continuing to show up to agents that are not sending you title orders? Do you cut them off?
No, it takes time.
Yeah,
it takes time, and then you get the text. you get the text, hey, my title rep retired, or hey, I'm ready. Hey, I heard you mention something in a video about this app.
See, I assume for you guys this would be the best form of getting prospects. Like saying something on a video, and then them like reaching out to you. Like that's such a better than stopping by people's offices.
Oh, I don't do it, dude. I literally don't go to offices. Like I have a few offices where we
always at Century 21.
Yeah, we have
King Center.
No, Primetime. My boy Felix, but like. I like that office a lot because their agents show up. So
it seems like they have good energy.
Yeah, if I'm blocking out a morning to do a training and 3 agents show up, dude, that hurts everybody, man. But Century 21, man, those guys show up.
They rock. Every time I see you on video, it's like holy crap.
It's a packed room. They're engaged, and they treat it like a job. They want to get better and they want to get listings, and they do. They pump. They do really good volume out of that office. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Vince, for coming on the podcast. Thanks for doing it in front of the sign. I can't believe you didn't want to do it in front of the sign. That was embarrassing.
The sign is
it's pretty epic, bro.
It's special. It is
special. But you know what? I love about the sign. I'm never gonna get rid of it, Adrian. We're gonna have this every single time. Is that I was being like every agent you talk about. Mm-hmm. Oh, I gotta have the neon sign. Oh, I need to have this before I do the podcast. Oh, I need to do this before we start this. Oh, and then I don't know what. Like last week, I'm like, F it. Like
you guys are great at just like getting in your own way.
We are, which is so funny because it's like, what does it even matter?
It doesn't,
right? But people like you show up and like, oh, I'm embarrassed to be in front of this sign. I've never done a podcast before. I'm Vince Rodriguez, Tycor title. I'm not going to do one in front of this sign. That's what he said right when he walked in, didn't he? Yes, he did.
I'm bougie.
I'm waiting for Lance is coming next week. I'm waiting to see what Lance thinks of the sign. He won't. Lance had this like super nice studio that he used to go shoot at, and it didn't work out that well, or like he tired of driving down to Canyon Lake to go to it. So he's like, "Can I shoot here?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He's gonna walk in and be like, "I'm not shooting in front of the sign. I will not." He was like, "I'm not doing a we need couches in here and chairs and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Bro, we're not.
Yeah,
this is an office." So.
I get it.
Vince, thanks for taking your time to be on the podcast. How can people get a hold of you?
Text. Instagram, DM.
What's your handle?
Vince for title with some underscores in there. Vince _
That'll be tagged in the video, or just DM me and I'll let you know.
Yeah,
comment below.
My answer is yes.
Yeah,
for just about everything. So let's do it.
That's awkward. All right, go ahead, it. All right, guys. Make sure you comment below if you have any questions, share, like, all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, peace.